75th NBA All-Star Game. This year features a new format, the USA versus the world.
This is the main event.
For the win. He's got it! LeBron, logo Bron. Fox for the win! Games 1 and 2 have delivered. Straight cash for Kawhi. Team World is eliminated. A dominant effort from the USA Stars team. They will win the 75th NBA All-Star Game.
All-Star Game means it's the mid-season points, as we're going to hand out some mid-season superlatives. Perk, we'll start with you. Who is your mid-season MVP?
Well, right now I got to go with Jaylen Brown. What he has done this season for us, putting this Celtic team on his back, got them one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference right now, the best two-way player in the game, the only player that's top 5 in scoring and top 5 defensively when it comes down to opponent field goal percentage.
All right, so he gets your MVP. Who is the best team at the midseason point?
I got to go with the Detroit Pistons. They're the one team that we don't have to question who they are. They have an identity. You know they're going to come with the physicality defensively. They got a bunch of dogs from top to bottom. They got an all-star center in Jalen Duren, who's going to go out there and put up 20 and 10, and obviously Cade Cunningham, who's also in the MVP conversation.
I mean, they could actually qualify for this next question. Your biggest surprise at the midseason point?
My biggest surprise is the San Antonio Spurs. Nobody thought that they were going to be here. We thought that they were going to make a leap for us getting into the postseason, but no one would think that they would only be 3 games back from having the best record in the Western Conference. And right now, they're looking like legit title contenders. Top to bottom, they check all the boxes. The only thing that they're lacking is experience, which I think they'll overcome that because they have a young superstar on the rise that has an old soul in Victor Wembanyama.
Coming off the blood clots a year ago, good to see him healthy. And speaking of the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama was asked about being the next face of the NBA, a topic which Anthony Edwards joined in as well.
Social media, NBA can promote whoever they want, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the best players and who the people ask for, you know. It's never, like being the face of the league is not something, it's something that can be manufactured, but only to some extent. And it's only going to be the best players. So this is what it's all about.
You had said, why do I need to be the face of the league? Y'all have Victor Wembanyama, but we see a world versus USA format here. Why not have a world and USA face of the league?
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. I ain't going against that.
All right, so 2 faces of the league.
2 faces is cool with me.
And you're one of them?
If I get there.
You know, it is an interesting question, and you guys know this, Wendy and Perk, that the league needs a face. We've seen it throughout its history that there's always a face of the NBA. So, Wendy, who do you believe is the best player positioned to become the next face of the league?
Well, Victor is right, as he is about many things. You can't manufacture it. It has to happen. If you look between 2007 and 2022, that was 16 years. In 15 of those 16 years, either Kobe, LeBron, or Steph were in the finals. You didn't have a conversation, is Steph the face of the NBA or LeBron? It happened because their teams were successful and they raised championships. That is what will have to happen. Ant is on the path. He has had several really good runs. Victor is maybe at the beginning of his playoff runs, but you can't manufacture it. You can talk about who has good candidates, and sure, Anthony Edwards and Victor Wembanyama are excellent candidates, but it's really, we're just a circular conversation until you see and get the hardware.
Yeah, and look, when it happened, it was, Magic and Bird, and then MJ comes in, and there was a little bit of a period after MJ where there was someone fighting for it. Allen Iverson was one of the guys that was up there. Shaq then comes on when he was with Orlando, and it seems to happen. And Perk, how big is it to be the face of an entire league when you're one of several players?
Well, it's huge. And it's, Matt, to be honest with you, the way guys have went about it over the past, 2 seasons, they make it like it's a bad thing to be the face of the league. Well, I think Victor Wembanyama, I know, he has changed that whole narrative. And I believe that he's up next. I believe that he's here. When it comes down to checking the boxes of what's the qualifications, Wendy brought up, championships and making it to the NBA Finals. That's one of it. But the other thing is actually putting butts in the seats, and not just while you're at home. When you go on the road, it's only one player right now that I would spend my hard-earned money to go watch him if he was in the city that I was in or showed up in the arena, and that's Victor Wembanyama. And the reason being is because we've never seen anything like him before. That's the first thing. The second thing is we know every time he put his feet on that damn floor, he's going to compete. He's not going to be friendly. He's old school. He's throwback when it comes to the mentality and how he approaches things. And again, this is why the All-Star game was somewhat of a success yesterday, because he set the tone, which he's setting the tone for the rest of the league.
It has been an interesting week or so in the NBA because you had the new format, you had the All-Star game conversation, and then you're talking about the NBA's future. And Commissioner Adam Silver addressed the media on Saturday and faced his league's biggest issue right now, which is what everyone's talking about, teams tanking to get a favorable pick in the NBA draft. Take a listen.
What we're seeing right now is not working. There's no question about it. And yes, is there more I can do? Have I attempted not only to, respond to behavior we've seen, but send a clear message that we're going to be scrutinizing everything we see going forward? Absolutely. But I don't think that's the way to manage this system long term.
Is there any talk of taking draft picks away from teams that do this as opposed to finding them?
There is talk about every possible remedy now to stop this behavior.
Wendy, with the NBA, I mean, a couple of years ago we were talking about load management and guys skipping games, not playing all the games, and now the tanking is an issue. So why is it such a complicated problem for the NBA to solve with tanking?
Because the NBA system is complicated. In basketball, you have one star player can disproportionately affect the game, unlike other team sports. The greatest quarterback only plays half the game. Shohei Ohtani pitches and bats. He only bats 4 or 5 times a game, only pitches 1 out of every 5 days. A superstar player who can play at both ends and be dynamic changes the game. It's disproportionate. Having one is so desired. Secondly, it's a socialistic system. The 30 teams share money with each other. The strong winning teams share the better young players with the weaker teams. It's very hard to create a system that is enabled to make everybody in there happy. Secondly, revenue drives the NBA. It's a volume league. They care about quality, but they care about quality secondary to revenue. The decisions are driven by revenue. Given those 3 factors, it is very hard to come up with a system that won't incentivize some level of losing. Do you know how I know, Matt? Because the lottery was introduced in the 80s, and Adam Silver said something I didn't even know, that it's already been changed 5 times. They've changed it 5 times. There isn't a perfect system. And let me tell you something else, why I don't think it can be totally eradicated. Part of what Adam Silver said, despite there being 7 to 10 teams potentially tanking this season, is that they're thinking about adding 2 teams, which there's still only going to be 1 championship, and they're going to add potentially 2 teams by the end of the decade. So again, finances will drive the decision-making, not necessarily competitive balance. And so therefore, you have a problem set that is going to be very, very difficult to solve.
Perk, how would you get in there with Adam Silver and say, hey, these are the levers you have to pull to make sure that we have a competitive regular season? I mean, the fact that we're even having this conversation about competing in a pro sport of which you make millions of dollars is absurd.
It is, Matt. And look, I don't have the answer for that. I don't get paid the dollars to come up with the answer or the solution to that problem. But I will say it's a huge problem, and it needs to be addressed now. Like, we need to stop with this whole tanking word. It's not tanking. You know what it is? It's actually throwing games to lose, which is bad all across the board. We're talking about a competitive game where you play to win. You play to win, and teams are setting up to actually go out there on a night-to-night basis to lose games, throw games to get a draft pick, which is messing with the integrity of the game of basketball, and it's horrible. Let's stop using the word tanking. Let's put it out there. It's 2026. Let's keep it real. Teams are throwing games, walk into arenas and are trying to lose games in the billion-dollar industry
because it's good strategy.
For the business.
Are there, okay, so let's peel this back, because you're right. We shouldn't be doing that at all, especially with what these guys get paid to play a game. So, Windy, I mean, are there too many games? Does the league have too many games in a regular season?
Again, Matt, the league is built to be a volume league. Quality is important, but it comes second to volume. I always say, why does the NBA play best of 7 instead of best of 9? Because they can't get away with best of 9, okay? So it's a volume league. I said they're trying to add 2 more teams. So if it's a volume league, it's a data-driven league, it's a game where disproportionately one player makes a huge impact. It is a situation that is going to be very difficult to solve, but I'll tell you where you can start. Right now, teams are incentivized to lose. They're incentivized to lose because that is the system that will get them the best disproportionately valuable player. You have to change the incentive, but it's not as simple as just changing the rules because, again, it's within a socialistic system. The strong and rich teams have to help out the weak and poor teams. Yeah. And figuring something out within that world is not simple. Trust me.
I wanna try to post at what I look like. Keep them going, try to wear, pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, I'm here,